the police service led by IGP and the CID boss, Ken Yeboah. Almost say a year Madina MP, Francis Xavier Sosu. No matter what, he has to be arrested. We know, say, last week, Parliament actually came out to say, the MP cannot be arrested because there are some rules and regulations governing the MP's work. When he's working for Parliament, when he's even out of Parliament and performing parliamentary duties, the police cannot arrest him. Now, we have seen, say, the police, the IGP, the CID boss, they are bent on arresting Sosu, and people are asking questions. What law did Sosu, the MP for Madina, break? Mraben Obusua and the IGP Dampare and the Ken Yeboah, CID boss, and all these people, they have made up their mind, said they have left everything that they are doing, they need to arrest this MP. Now, when you read this is coming from ACP Ofori on Sosu. He says, parliamentary privileges. We will go to Supreme Court if it comes to that. So you could see that the police are really ready to do everything possible to arrest Sosu. Now, the question is, did Sosu commit any crime? Has he murdered anybody? What at all has he done that the whole police set up? They have actually, basically, technically stopped everything, and that they want to arrest the MP. Now, we all know that this MP led his constituents to demonstrate and protest. There are two things here. There's a difference between demonstration and there's a difference between protest. Said to demonstrate and protest. Now, I think Sosu, being a lawyer and having read law and led people to their freedom and speaking law and all that, I think by now he knows the consequences when you decide to go on demonstration without the permission of the police. In fact, the police, we don't even need to take permission from the police. But out of courtesy, some people decide, say, it is always good to have the police involved in case there are other parties who might want to hurt those who officially want to do something better. Anytime, most of the time, people go out and get the police to be involved. They will get that police protection. But in Ramuno, you don't need the police permission to be on the street. It is very, very important we get to know that. Now, the question everybody's asking is, what has Sosu done that the IGP Dampare, who are touting to say he knows policing, or he and the police in Australia, the police in the UK, ya Bonabasu recently. Everybody is saying, say IGP where there, Najuni Juma, he's doing the job. Recently, he arrests everybody who comes in front of him, and then what he does is he remands you. So on the policy, they say it does not matter. The moment he gets you, he will put you in jail. Abra, some of the issues, and I say some of the cases, they can just be solved, and then people go home and maybe appear in court the next day. But Dampare, his idea of policing is no matter what. Senadrian say, oh yeah, Bonnie, say 5 months ago, cry. He will come and arrest you and make sure, say, you go to jail. Now, on this platform, I have said that I will never sit on this platform and defend crime. I will never sit on this platform and tell anybody, irrespective of political party and affiliation, whatever you did, where the year of repart to Entiano, where the year of repart to Entiano, Bonnie, Bonnie. So, and we all know that crime never expires. So, be a Bonnie 7 months ago, na send a China, we can arrest the person. And Nintina Dampare, etumiko change atawale. And Nintina Dampare, etumiko change, obi this a medical. Obia, you see, some time back, he actually showed guns on social media. So it means that Dampare equally can also go back and arrest people. They have done almost the same thing. Shatamudu, medical, I showed one guy, Jubilee House, he was holding gun in public, and we can talk about somebody like MP for Kaswa Hawa Kumsin. She was holding gun in public. She actually fired the gun. She did that illegally. It was against the law. But still, Dampare has decided not to arrest her. We can talk about George Anda displaying gun in public. We can even talk about the man in the Jubilee House who is the boss of operations. And yeah, Lord Comey. He commanded his bodyguard to shoot someone during the elections. Till date, Dampare has not gotten that courage to invite all these people. But today, Sosu, who legitimately led a legitimate group, an MP, who decided to demonstrate, to show to the government and the world that the kinds of roads they have in their constituency isn't good. Now, this MP has become a target to the IGP. The MP has become a target to the CID boss. The MP has basically become a wanted man in Ghana. And the question is, what has Sosu done? Even though Krampono, Parliament swab out, Abeka said, we are issuing a directive. From the beginning of the show, I told you, the president leaves, Odinetija, the vice president. When the vice president leaves, Odinetija, the third man who is the Speaker of Parliament. The Speaker of Parliament has issued a statement. Dampare says, go to hell with your statement. I will still go ahead and arrest this guy. Now the question is, what at all has Sosu done? What crime has he done? What he did, was it legal or illegal? Did he have permission to go on that demonstration? Was the police led by the IGP, Dampare, and the CID boss, Ken Ofori, Ken Japan, Ken Yabua, did they have an idea of that demonstration? Before we even move forward with this discussion, why the police are saying they swear heaven and earth, they will have to arrest this guy. So the question you have to be asking is a basic question. What has Sosu done? What has the MP, the NDC MP for Madina, what has he done wrong? What crime has he committed? Now look at this. This is a letter from the police headquarters, which Dampare has a copy. The CID boss has a copy. This letter actually gave Sosu and his constituents the right to go out to demonstrate and also do what? Protest. So from day one, it means the police headquarters, led by the IGP, the CID boss, and all those communities there, they had a clear idea that they had officially given the green light to Sosu and his constituents to demonstrate. Now let's read what is in this letter. And after that, I will let you know what Dampare is up to, what this government is up to, and why Ghanaians should be very attentive. Ghanaians should be very worried, especially the NDC should be very worried about the new IGP, because there is an agenda, and that agenda is towards your flag bearer. Let me show you this. Let's read this. I'm going to read every single thing on this paper. It is very, very important. Now, when you go up there, it says Ghana Police Service, Divisional Headquarters, Adenta /AR, 14th October 2021. If the police don't have, they should come out and say they don't have this copy. It's very, very important. And this copy, we are going to publish it on loudsilencenews.com for every single individual to have a copy and then read. Ask the police if they know about this. Did they actually release or give this MP this document before they go out to demonstrate? When you go down, they say my reference ADADIV 13/V7/293. That's the reference number. Your reference number, that's it there. Honorable Francis Xavier Kojo Sosu Esquire, Member of Parliament, Madina constituency. Now let's move forward. Let's read the letter. You will understand and you will see whatever is in there. It says, notice of that's the reply. Notice of public protests and demonstration. There are two things here. Public protests and demonstration. Now look at this. I refer your letter dated 11th October 2021, your notice of public protest and demonstration in accordance with Section 1 of the Public Order Act 1994, Act 491. We are unable to provide security for this intended demonstration due to an upcoming Ghana Law School student demonstration and regional tour by His Excellency, the President of the Republic. We humbly wish you reschedule your intended public protest to Monday, 25th October 2021 to enable us provide you with maximum security. We look forward to hearing from you at your earliest convenience. So when you go down there, it says Eric Winfall, Assistant Commissioner, Police. So, what I just read to you is simple. Ghana Police Service extra a replies as we say, Sasumu per date, the 14th of initial date now open. Yen to me and farmer 11th October now so no constituents. Acquire demonstration. The police service and IGP has this letter. Told Sosu, we cannot, because the president is going on a tour. The Ghana Law School students are demonstrating. So this particular day, we can't. But we can give you the 25th of October. We can give you what we call protection maximum. So the police, at the end of the day, had it on their document that on the 25th of October, they will be protecting protesters, including the MP, to demonstrate and also do what? Protest. Now, remember, on the day of the demonstration, the police were there. Who actually sent those policemen there? And remember, if even there was some kind of misunderstanding during the demonstration, which people made sure that nobody was hurt? It was the police. So why would the police turn around, led by the almighty Dampare, Onye Bonida, that this MP has committed the biggest crime on the land, and no matter what, they need to make sure they arrest him and prosecute him. Sometimes when you sit, right, and then you analyze these kind of things, you ask yourself, what will make an IGP who has had his training? In fact, to be very honest with you, majority of the people in Ghana didn't know Dampare. They cannot even tell us the record of Dampare even before he became IGP. Suddenly, Dampare became IGP. The president just moved him and he became an acting IGP. The president came and said, you are good, become an IGP. Dampare's record as record, we don't know much about it, which we will be playing. Let me tell people listening to me, this is not political. I want you people to know that what I'm doing here is not because Dampare is going after Sosu. Never. I don't care. What I'm doing here is to make sure that the rules governing this country and also governing the police force is adhered to, and people who have been given that power to make sure the rule of law or law and order prevails in Ghana, they also adhere to the same law. So it is left and right. It works together. Dampare cannot say that when the Speaker of Parliament gives him instructions, he will not take, but he wants his instructions to be taken. It never works. He's just an IGP. With all due respect to him, it is looking like Dampare is getting out of hand, and nobody has said that what he is doing since he became IGP, he has become political. But what he is doing now, from our checks, I will let you understand what Dampare is heading, what he is trying to do, his target. Now remember, when you ask the police force what this man has done, they cannot tell you. Till date, the police has not been able to come out to tell you exactly what Sosu has done. All that they are saying that we need to arrest him. Who is pressurizing IGP and the CID boss to arrest Sosu? That should be the question. Even though Parliament has come out that stay away from the guy, they say no. He goes to church. Remember, yesterday, Sosu was addressing different kind of churches. And when you read some of the documents, Parliament actually gave him a job to do. He had actually seek parliamentary approval to do the demonstration and also visit his constituency, respective churches, to let them know why they need to be better citizens, why they need to come out and demonstrate. So it is in line. He seeked permission from Parliament. So when Sosu is even standing in the church in his constituency speaking, technically Sosu is doing parliamentary job. Technically, he's working as a parliamentarian because there are documents to that fact. Parliament actually gave him the green light to go do that. So when you see Sosu on Sunday in church, that wasn't the only church. He was going to different churches because all those churches were in his constituency. It was technically parliamentary duty. So when Parliament had given a clear-cut a decision or put a clear-cut rule down that you cannot touch a parliamentarian who is on parliamentary duty, the police still goes after him in church. And we want to ask, is this the same Dampare who we said has gotten his training from UK and that he's more intelligent, more committed, more honest in his duties? Let me show you what Dampare is trying to do. Now, sit back and then listen to me. Dampare does not want Sosu. What they are doing is actually cooked from the Jubilee House. Now, let me tell you where they are heading. Recently, the EC came out on the Ghana for say, John Mahama has made a statement. It is criminal and the police needs to investigate and arrest him. That is what the EC came out to do. Now, remember, Dampare, at the end of the day, the police service, they have not come out to say Sosu has committed this crime or that crime. Now, Dampare started this with Shatawale. He started it with medical. Dampare gave excuse that anybody who has even committed a crime today and had committed a crime before, they will make sure that person is arrested. I just talked about Howard Kumsin. I talked about all those people who did almost the same thing, even extreme way. No, Dampare has decided not to look at somebody like Howard Kumsin. Dampare has decided not to look at somebody like Lord Comey. Dampare has decided to look at. He has deliberately decided to ignore those things, but going after Sosu. Now, what he wants to do right now is he is going after John Mahama because the signal, the direction the Jubilee House gave the EC was to make sure that they force IGP to arrest John Mahama. Now, the gig is here. The MPP government knows there's no way that they'll win the election, the upcoming elections. Now, remember, John Dramani Mahama's 3-year immunity is over. As we speak now, he is just a normal citizen like you. Now, the only way the MPP can disqualify John Mahama from contesting the 2024 election is to find something criminal to link him with, to make him somebody under investigations. The same thing they did with Kobrado 4. So if you look at it very well, Dampare is actually working for the president to try and immediately incriminate John Dramani Mahama because his immunity is gone. Now, the only thing they can do to stop John Dramani Mahama from contesting from the 2024 elections is today hang on his neck something incriminating because the EC had made a case against him. Now, what they are going to do now is, even Sosu have arrested him, so I have the right to arrest John Dramani Mahama, bring him in and question him. So the idea here is they want to find a criminal case, hang it around the neck of John Mahama, so that in 2024, the EC will come out and say, John Dramani Mahama cannot pick a form because he has a criminal case under investigation. So what they are doing here is basically using Dampare, using the police force, using Sosu as a leapfrogging board to make sure they get to John Dramani Mahama. So technically, you can see what Dampare is doing because it doesn't make sense. Somebody will ask, why is he so obsessed with Sosu? What has Sosu done? What has he done that the guy is in church? They are even going after him. What has Sosu done to the point whereby, because he wants to send a message that I'm going after the big shot. Now, they will say he went after Dampare. He went after Sosu. Then the EC are sending the green light there. Now, the green light is going to be like, let us try and get John Mahama in a way, in a case, in a criminal situation, so that in 2024, because if today, John Mahama makes any statement and the EC or whoever institutions try and force, and that's what the presidency is doing now, because they know no candidate in Ghana today, and I'm saying this on authority, can stand John Mahama in elections no matter the day or year or month. Nobody can beat John Mahama in an election today. No candidate. And I'm saying this because the records show, the resumes show, unless some candidates from heaven we don't know about, we don't know his record, we don't know his resume, put his resume side by side with John Mahama for us to now say, okay, there is another body, another person who is more competent to lead. But as we speak in our political settings, no candidate from NDC, from MPP can compare their resume to John Dramani Mahama come 2020. The only thing that can stop John Mahama from picking a form is when John Mahama is incriminated, when the EC finds way, when Jubilee House, because the plan now is the guy cannot be stopped. The only way you can stop the guy from picking a form is to make sure you put him in a case that is criminal. It does not matter the case. As far as the police calls him and say we are investigating this matter, John Mahama's 2024 political ambition is over. Because the police would never be done with the investigation. And as far as John Mahama is under investigation, he can never pick a form and contest for the presidency. So Dampare technically today is being used by the presidency to make sure John Dramani Mahama, because there's no other way anybody can stop John Mahama from contesting in 2024. No way. That is why suddenly the EC just came out to talk about this and directed everything to the CID, because the things the EC raised in their press conference has been raised a long time ago. It was raised in court. It was raised before elections. It had been raised and every single individual knows about it. How come suddenly the EC is out today? Because when John Mahama talked about the 1 million stuffing and all that, it has been there. It's a discussion we've had. We've had series of press conferences. Those issues have been raised up, has been raised. Why is it that today the EC is calling the IGP and the police to investigate John Mahama? Because they are setting the pace for John Mahama to be locked indirectly in a case where he would never get his neck out. And that is what Akufo-Addo and this government is trying to do. Because his immunity is gone. The 3 years has passed. They can find something and hang on his neck. They can't kill him. They can't come and say, physically, we are not going to stop him. But what they can do is use the police and use the indirect laws to stop him from picking a form. Because the law says the moment you are under investigations, you cannot contest for the presidency. So we have to be careful about where we are pushing this nation. The IGP has to be very careful. He needs to let Ghanaians trust him. What he is doing is a clear-cut obstructing justice and making sure the will of the people, he's using the little power that he has to take it away from them. And that is a recipe for disaster. Why do you think Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo today is fortifying the police, fortifying the army? He knows there's danger ahead. He is buying the army, he's buying the police, he's making sure that what he knows he's going to do is going to cause mayhem. And he's willing to do it because he has no way of stopping John Mahama from winning the elections in 2024. And the only way he can do that is to use IGP Dampare. IGP, I don't have any problem with him. But I and we all have sources. And that is the plan of Akufo-Addo. Akufo-Addo has 2 years to make sure he hangs a criminal case on John Dramani Mahama. Akufo-Addo he has only 2 years. After that, he can't do nothing. And that is his plan. And he's going to use Dampare, to do this. So the plan is clear. Dampare is going to do it. And that is why everybody is shocked in Ghana today. What has this Sosu guy done at all? That his family, today, his family is traumatized. His kids, people entering his house, police heckling him. What did he do? After the demonstration, did anybody die? Did anybody destroy any government property? What at all? We have seen dangerous demonstrations in Ghana where people have died. Akufo-Addo himself, when he put together Kumi Preko, there were people who got injured crazily. Later they died. Those ones did not even deserve this. What has Sosu done for Dampare, the IGP, the CID boss, all of them, the police set up the national security, just want to arrest this guy. They want to send a message because they need something to put fear in the people and say, our next target is your flag bearer. So this is not a joke if you are listening to me. Akufo-Addo is bent on using institutions, the security, to destroy the little security we have. Dampare should prove himself. He should prove beyond reasonable doubt that there are people, if he's going to go after Sosu, he is going to say Sosu demonstrated. Even though Parliament has said, stay off, this guy was doing parliamentary duties, then Dampare has to go and arrest Hawa Kumsin. Dampare has to go back and arrest George Anda. Dampare has to go back and arrest somebody like Lord Kome, whose bodyguard shot somebody, and that person has to be arrested. Dampare has to go back and arrest that presidential staffer, Nikote, whatever. Dampare needs to prove to us that he's neutral. At this point, Dampare is proving to us that he's a political tool being used by this government. It's crazy. You might think it's a joke, but Akufo-Addo can do anything. And this is what he's planning, and this is what he's doing. And it's in Amubusa questions, baby. What is Dampare? You don't even know what Sosu has done. You don't even get it. And they have sent some lawyers out to defend what the police are doing. It's shocking that a lawyer will sit on TV and say this is right and that the police has the right to arrest them. A lawyer. These are the surrogates of the government. You saw last Saturday, they have brought Sankuma back on TV. They are losing the legal conversation. They are losing that judicial conversation. They know at this point our judiciary is in the shit. Nobody respects the Chief Justice all the way to the last messenger in the Supreme Court. They know. Now they are bringing back their criminals. Sankuma there, let me tell you people, if you see him, tell him, say, that ANC Mall, the South African company, he knows there are criminals in. Although everything possible to take a land from a family. Sankuma, I'm watching you. You see, Sankuma walking there, no, he is, although a body team to actually, because he aids foreign companies, duping Ghanaians, because Ghana for when these companies come, they give their land to them, say, this is our land, build your ANC mall on, build or whatever mall on. What Sankuma does is, he connives with these companies, and all that he does is, he will make sure the companies will not pay these people nothing. As I speak, I'm following a case Sankuma is leading. In fact, the money they are supposed to pay the locals, Sankuma has instructed this South African company at AS Mall to pay him, and he has entered that money. I'm not there yet. I just want to give an idea of what is coming. Sankuma and his law firm, and I want to tell that law firm, HL, whatever, I am coming after them because it looks like they are the ones making sure Sankuma commit a lot of crimes. They have not released a statement. Since some year and one issue, no, that law firm was supposed to release a statement to say Sankuma acted on his own, but they didn't because they support Sankuma in the criminality. I will do a whole profile of this Encho, whatever nonsense law firm. I will let the world know the kind of criminals in Ghana they are. And it's not just ANC more. There are so many some bank buildings in Accra. Sankuma is behind the companies. All that he does is, as I speak to you now, Sankuma has instructed the South African company, say, let us take them to UK. And if they can come to UK and then come to court, so Sankuma has led the company to take them. That is what he does. This is just by the way. I'll come to him. Until you see somebody like Samson Ayeneni, he's a criminal himself. He brought in Sankuma. What did he come to do? To defend criminality. Into Ghanaians, you should be very attentive. There are so many criminals in our streets, especially majority of them are some of our lawyers. They use the law to intimidate you people. They misinterpret the law to suit themselves. And that law firm called HL and whatever bullshit, I will come to them. I will let people know what they are doing there. When Sankuma led this company, Royal Diamond, to what national security, you HL and whatever, you were supposed to release a statement to say you had no knowledge of it. But you sat there because when Sankuma brings the booty, you people get it. I will make sure the world gets to know the kind of law firm you people are. It is important. And when we do these things, people think we are here. These are cluster of criminals coming together, talking and acting as if they are legitimate lawyers. They are criminals. They have gone to learn a little law and they are using that to suppress we the people. So back to Dan Paris issue, you have to understand Dan Paris' target is John Mahama. Dan Paris' target is John Mahama. He wants to find something to hang on John Mahama's neck because John Mahama is not having any immunity again. His 3 years is gone. He's like you, he's like me. And then they can just put anything. And Nitna J. Mensaba out. Ebeka said, you people should investigate John Mahama. The allegation John Mahama made, it is a fact. Even the NDC came in their at their press conference, they showed facts. Why hasn't the EC told CID boss and Dan Paris to go and arrest those people we saw holding papers? Why didn't they do that? But they directed it to John Mahama because they want John Mahama to be locked up in something called we are investigating a criminal case or a criminal statement you made against you. And that is the only way Jane Mensah thinks she can walk. So we have to be very intelligent here. We have to be smart. This government is dangerous. They don't care about war. Akufo-Addo does not care who is going to die. I'm telling you, that will be the last thing he will think about. He does not care. That is why he's putting a lot of his street boys in the army. That is why today you see Akufo-Addo is giving army this. He knows what he's doing. He knows when people step out, the water cans, he will kill. He has already killed Dampare can ask the police, the CID boss, who are the men who went to Techiman South to kill Ghanaians. Dampare has ignored that. There are serious matters going after Sosu, who actually wrote to you for you people to give him the green light to go out and investigate. We are at a crossroad, and where we are is dangerous. Where we are, if we don't come together as a people and make sure we all stand up to people who want to destroy our democracy, we will all lose the democracy. We are all one people. We need to understand that some people cannot take power into their hands and suppress the majority. The majority can make a decision. So as we speak now, the president knows what he's doing, and it is a work ongoing. It's a progress thing, and they have given the assignment to Dampare, and that is what they are doing. So sit back and analyze. Ask a simple question: what did Sosu do wrong? If even Sosu did not take any permission from the police, did he do anything wrong? It's as simple as that. If Sosu, let's say Sosu never wanji bibia and free a police wanji permission, did he commit any crime here? What crime has he committed? For the police, national security, everybody to be going after him. It is not Sosu they need John Mahama. That is what they want to do. And Dampare has disappointed because there are more serious issues we were expecting Dampare to be looking at. Dampare is proving gradually that he wasn't brought in to do the job for people to know that at least we have a new police force now. Dampare is basically becoming the poison in the wine for Ghanaians. Into Ghana, this is not a joke. It is coming. People like us, we have sources. People like us, we analyze. People like us, we look at the issues. Akufo-Addo wants just one thing. Jane Mensah wants just one thing, and that is what the president has promised him. If you are able to put a criminal case on this guy, it doesn't matter. Let it hang on his neck. It will go and go and go to 2023. He cannot pick a form. Because the EC will write to the NDC and say, your candidate has some impending case against him, and it is criminal, and we cannot give him any form. And that is what John Mahama needs to be careful about. The NDC needs to be careful about, because that is the only plan left for Akufo-Addo. He does not care whatever will happen in Ghana. It's very, very important. You're still watching. With all due respect, extended version. After this short break, I'll be back so that we take care of business.